Of adopting an orphan in Ukraine, it appears, is slipping away. Laws in 2 countries are working against him, all suggesting that Sir Elton's celebrity status won't work in his favour. Aisha Durgay takes a look now, a closer look at the case and legal precedent set by other stars adopting abroad.
Brad Pitt and Angelina have 3, Madonna has 2, and now Elton John wants 1. During a visit to an orphanage in Ukraine and after meeting 14-month-old Lev, Elton John says he's had a change of heart about adoption.
You know what, David and I have always talked about adoption, and David has always wanted to adopt a child. And I've always said no, because I am 62, and I think because of the traveling that I do and the life I have, maybe it wouldn't be the fair thing for a child. But after seeing Lev today, I would love to adopt him. I don't know how we do that, but he has stolen my heart.
Elton John's quest to adopt baby Lev may have been short-lived. The Ukraine Family and Youth Minister says the 62-year-old singer would not be able to adopt because he is too old and not married. Under Ukraine law, potential parents must be less than 45 years older than the child. Adoptive parents must be married. Same-sex unions are not recognised. Elton John faces obstacles in the UK too. British guidelines say parents who want to adopt should be no older than the retirement age of 65 when the child is 18. At 62, Elton would have to rely on his civil partner David Furnish, who would be 63 when the child turns 18. Either way, pro-adoption activists say Elton John's interest in adoption is a powerful signal.
Their actions will have a huge impact in breaking down prejudice and ignorance. I also, of course, hope that it will encourage lots of other people, not just celebrities, but ordinary people, to consider adopting children who are in need.
As Madonna's case demonstrates, adoption rules can sometimes be waived when it comes to celebrities. She was able to adopt her Malawian children, even though the law requires adopting mothers to be married and to have lived in Malawi for at least 18 months.
Firstly, we're really pleased that Elton John is drawing attention to the plight of children with HIV and AIDS in Ukraine. However, we are worried that this will encourage, or could possibly encourage, even more parents who are vulnerable and needy to abandon their children to institutional care, which did happen in Ukraine straight after the whole high-profile Madonna story.
The debate over celebrity adoption is by no means over. Opinion continues to be divided over whether fame and fortune equals good parenting and a better life, or that taking children away from their native countries does more harm than good. Aisha Durgay, CNN, London.
And as Aisha mentioned there, the debate over celebrity adoptions is a fierce one, and one we asked you to join in on my blog today. The key question was this: are celebrity adoptions a good thing? Well, thousands of you have shared your thoughts in our quick poll today. 42% of those who took part said yes, stars should use their wealth to make a difference to a child's life. 58%, though, frown on celebrity adoptions. Well, not a scientific result, of course, but a good indication of opinion. Go to cnn.com/connect to have your say as ever. Well, let's not forget that at the centre of all of this is a 14-month-old infant, one of the thousands of children living in Ukrainian orphanages. Matthew Chance tells us of their plight and their prospects.
Well, Elton John is just one high-profile would-be adoptive parent drawn to Ukraine's overcrowded orphanages to find a child. The country has over 100,000 orphans, according to official figures, most of what's called social orphans, whose parents are addicts, in prison, or simply abandon them for other reasons. AIDS is another huge factor. Ukraine has a devastating problem with HIV infection. Many orphans in the country have lost their parents to AIDS. Now, the outlook for orphans in the country is pretty bleak as well. One charity, the World Orphan Project, which works in Ukraine, says 10% of orphans there commit suicide before the age of 18. 60% of orphaned Ukrainian girls end up in prostitution, and 70% of the boys enter a life of crime, die young, or end up in prison. There have, though, surprisingly, been voices of opposition, though, raised against wealthy foreigners like Elton John adopting Ukrainian children. One international children's charity, EveryChild, says research shows that the practice encourages mothers to place their children in care in the hope that they'll find a better life. Matthew Chance, CNN Moscow.
And coming up next here on Connect the World, the start of a new series this week on the very real role that women play in war around the world. Today we're going to introduce you to a female soldier in Pakistan who first had to convince her family that she was fit for the job.
Hello. Now,